Is this Messi's tournament to grab a hold of and become the Gretzky of soccer?
Well, I mean, he's the best player left. Love that reference, by the way. Just slid it in there without even.
Or will he just be the Cam Neely? And he's
got
solid and
make the Hall of Fame.
And make the Hall of Fame.
His dangles.
What?
Pretty spectacular.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Can he do this? Can he be great? Can he be?
Well, he's been
LA?
great. I think he's been great so far. He is the best player. You know, I say this, though. What we've learned from this past couple of days and the death of Alfredo Di Stefano is you don't need to win a World Cup to be considered one of the all-time greats. And perhaps, you know, we're actually appreciating... What are you laughing at?
We had a conversation.
Never seen someone laugh so hard at Alfredo Di Stefano's passing.
Yeah, I'm not
talking about
some
Di
respect
Stefano.
for the man, will you?
I am not talking about Di Stefano. At the start of the show, well, maybe like an hour ago, we had a conversation, and Sid said you have to win a World Cup to be considered among
Sharman's
the greats. No, continue.
I was saying that Di Stefano has shown that you don't have to win a World Cup to be considered one of the greats of all time. Now, to be considered the greatest of all time, we'll find out. That's
actually what Sid said.
Yeah. I mean,
to be in the level of Pelé and Maradona.
For everyone to shut up and actually appreciate it and respect him, yes, sure, he needs to win it. But at this point, he's pretty much pulled his team through this World Cup by himself to the semifinals. If they can get one over the Dutch tomorrow, which I think they probably can, he's in the final, and he's done it by himself, thereabouts. You know, by far being the most dominant player in that team.
The thing is, Di Maria at times has really been there. Like, Di Maria scored a huge goal against Switzerland, and he's been a phenomenal player.
No, he has been great though. In this
I think
tournament.
Di Maria's been very good,
so?
and he's gone for the rest of the tournament.
Nothing like he was for Real Madrid this past year, where he was just a revelation once again.
There were moments in that game against Belgium for Argentina in the quarters before he got hurt. Oh, was he in the mood, man?
He was warming up
He
for
was
sure.
in the mood.
He was warming up, and even in the game prior, I thought it was probably his best game. I think 12 shots on goal in that one against the Swiss. But I don't think it's been at his best, but they're going to really miss him because, you know, as he was getting to his best, you know, is when the checking gets much tighter in these games.
See that? See what he did
right?
there?
So you need some more space
Checking
for your star players.
tighter.
Do Argentina have to get pucks in deep?
It would appear so.
But that's the argument too, right? And then you get Higuain with one flash of brilliance, and you get through a game, and that's the argument that maybe Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't have the supporting cast to get him to a World Cup final, never mind win, and he can't be considered among the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a tough
I
one.
do personally
That's
think he
gonna be a
is,
tough
but I
one.
know what you're saying though. But the drop off between Portugal and Argentina, removing Ronaldo and Messi, there's a big jump off there.
Right.
Argentina is far superior.
Right.
There've been a lot of that kid Ronaldo's been in a lot of semifinals now.
Yeah, he has.
Big time tournaments, and you can mark him out. You can take that guy out of a game. Maradona in '86, you couldn't take him out of the game.
And that's the thing about the
But you
86
also have a supporting cast
Yeah.
to mark a guy out of a
You
game.
do, but
to make you pay.
But I
for
hate,
marking a
I
guy
hate to
out
keep
of a game.
referencing '86. That Argentine team wasn't good.
No, exactly. My point was about to
That's
say that.
the
It wasn't
point.
a great team.
The point,
He
yeah.
literally carried that team on his back
Definitely.
through to that
Pele had
championship.
better teams every time.
Yeah. In fact, Pele wasn't even the best player in the World Cups he won.
Garincha,
Right?
in
Garincha, you know,
58.
There's so many, you know, in the 60s he was hurt, of course.
Yeah.
So listen, I mean, it's ridiculous. I think, you know, even this whole generational competition, Pele to Messi to Di Stefano to Ronaldo, it's all nonsense to me. Really, they're all great players. Should all be considered among the best of all time. You know, I never saw Di Stefano play. I never saw Pele really play, apart from a few, you know, DVDs here and there. You know, Maradona I saw in '86, and he scared the living, you know, what out of me.
Out of everybody.
Yeah, because every time he got the ball, he did something with it.
Right.
That's the most dominant performance I've ever seen, which is why I may dislike the guy, but I respect him as being, you know, probably the most fearsome player, all-dominating player I've ever seen.
Okay, let's just focus on Argentina and Netherlands for a split second, and then we'll move on to today's game. Belgium's coach, Mark Wilmot, said after the game, it's just an ordinary team. Is that sour grapes, or is there something to that?
I saw it. The only ordinary team I saw was Belgium that day.
Yeah, they were poor.
Yo, don't be throwing
Absolutely.
stones after that kind of
I
performance.
thought there were misplaced comments. You were beaten by the better team, and they got it done. And the conditions were very difficult. They scored the goal. They then sat back and defended really well. And we've been questioning the Argentine defense all tournament, but in that game, they looked pretty good, you ask me, with Di Michaelis there, of all players. who's been just vilified at Man City in the Premier League the last few months.
I don't think it was as bad. Like
He wasn't that bad.
They did win the league with him at center back.
The last
right?
few months with company, they were excellent.
They were really good.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You look at all these teams, and this is where FIFA scores. They want it so much for different reasons. Messi for kind of what we've been talking about for the last little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, he's Argentinian and he wants to win anyway. But there's a lot on the line here for Messi. Holland have lost 3 finals in their history. Robin is in his prime. Van Persie is in his prime. Snyder, maybe a little past his prime, but still pretty good. You can argue this is going to be the best team they've had in God knows how long.
And they're already talked about as the best team to never win a World Cup.
Well, you lose, 0 for 3 in the finals. I think we've established that. They are the best team to not win.
For sure.
And these guys are in their prime. They're not going to have a better shot. Then you got Brazil, and obviously they want to win because they're Brazil. Germany, we look at Germany and they're really, they win a lot of games. They haven't won this thing since 90.
Yep.
They've only won 3 of these things, despite all the
nothing
semis.
since 96. They last European championship
Exactly.
96. It's a
In
long
England.
time
In
for
England.
Germany.
Sorry about that. In
Yeah,
England.
thanks for reminding me.
Sorry about that.
Great. Yeah.
But like the level of hunger in these 4 is staggering,
Yeah.
and it's for all different amazing reasons, and it's going to make for a fascinating
it's also
couple
so
days.
wide open. No, there isn't one all-encompassing, dominating, great team there. There's not one great team amongst them. They're all very even. They all have flaws. If you're Argentina, you look at the other 3 and think, wow, these teams are all beatable. If you're Brazil, you think, wow, those 3 teams are all beatable, and so on and so forth. There's not a team that you say, these guys are the favorites. These guys should win this year's championship. It could go, I don't care who wins. It's not a huge surprise at this point, is it? If the Dutch win, it's not a huge surprise. If Germany win, not a huge surprise.
I don't
Brazil,
think so.
Argentina.
No, I think
No.
you're right on that.